Well, it's about midnight. Temperatures about the mid-80s. I can't sleep, so I think I'll see if I can get some of these scratches buffed out of the Sportster. I'll use some rubbing compound and a small cheap buffer. And once I get them buffed out, then I'll give it a coat of wax. I'm going to start on this rear fender. Got some scratches right across here and then a few right up in here. Hopefully these will buff out. I'm going to be using this rubbing compound, which is fairly aggressive. So I'm going to be careful as I buff it out. I'll do it a little bit and I'll stop and check it. I'm going to be running a fan. The fan's a little bit loud. It's about 85 outside, but it's about 95 in the garage, so I'd like to cool the garage down a little bit. Now I put a little bit of water on the pad, and I don't need to get crazy here. I want to spread this out a little bit, so I don't want to be flinging rubbing compound all over the garage. All right, I'm going to use this butter wet wax. The fender should be good to go. So I'm just going to put this wax on it, see how the fender looks. That looks fantastic. Wow, that is absolutely beautiful. Give me some motivation just to keep on rolling. That looks outstanding. All right, I'm going to hit the tank. Get it just a little bit wet. That's looking pretty good. Those few spots right in here I think I'll hit. Yeah, it's looking pretty nice. Now I'm going to take and apply some rubbing compound around the filler here. I'm going to do that by hand. Yeah, that's looking really nice. So now I'm gonna rub the sides of the tank. I'm gonna do the sides by hand. All right, let's get a coat of wax on this tank and see how it looks. That tank is absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. It's really nice. Shiny. Now there's a pretty bad scratch right here in the front fender. I turned the fan off since it's blowing directly on the fender. You got a little star chip here. Can't do anything with that. But I can try to take this scratch out here. Now I'm concerned about the edge. I just don't want to burn the paint off the edge of the fender. You know, I'm gonna go with that. It's not out 100%. It's just a little bit here, but I don't like running the buffer here on the edge of the fender. I don't think this bike has ever been waxed. And if it has been waxed, it's been a long time ago because there's like no wax on this thing. Looking pretty good. Well, that was some time well spent. The bike looks really nice. Nice and shiny. Got about 95% of those scratches out. And what's left is really faint. So I think it was pretty successful buffing out the tank and the fenders. And it looks really nice. Well, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning and it's 92 degrees. I'm going to try to get these tires clean before it gets hot. So I'm using Bleche White. You know, and this Bleche White is, I mean, it's been around forever. I used this stuff when I was a teenager, which was a long time ago. So I'll let that sit for a few minutes, then I'll give it a scrub, and then I'll probably give it another application before I rinse it. Well, the front tire's all cleaned up. It looks pretty nice. Alright, well, this back tire's looking pretty good. So I just need to get the other side and I'll be done cleaning tires. I have a couple spots on the engine here that didn't get clean when I cleaned the bike. I'm going to use some Total Cycle Cleaner, spray down in here. Now I'll use a brush and scrub it before I rinse it. You know, in the Total Cycle Cleaner, it works all right. You know, it's not a miracle product. You know, you're not going to just spray it on and have a spotlessly clean bike. You're going to have to scrub a little bit. Get this stuff rinsed off. All right, I have this cleaned up. I got the grime off of these lines here on the inside, on the back of this push rod block. Got it cleaned up. So I'm going to take this S100 Engine Brightener and go back over those areas. Now I used this a few days ago when I did the initial cleaning on the bike, but I ended up missing a few spots. And since I'm here cleaning the tires, well, I'll just touch up those areas I missed. And I like this stuff. I think this stuff works pretty well. Where I sprayed it on my chrome, I'll clean up these push rod tubes. But you know, it looks so much better than it did. So, you know, there comes a point where
it's going to have to be good enough, but you know, I certainly want it to be nice. The bike has 2,878 miles on it, so essentially it's a nearly new bike. But, you know, the previous owner could have taken a little bit better care of it. Well, all right, there it is. I got the tires cleaned. I cleaned some of the spots on the engine that I missed the first time. The paint's been buffed and waxed. So I would say it is about 99% clean. There might be some spots I've missed, but it is way better than it was when I bought it. Now, something I need to do is I need to get some mirrors for the bike. And I think I would like to get a small swing arm bag for running errands. I don't want a great big bag, I just want a little one, you know, something that'll hold a bag of nuts and bolts or a tube of caulk or something like that. So I want a small bag that'll tuck right in here. So I'm pretty happy with how the bike looks. You know, I could take it to like a little bike night or something and wouldn't feel ashamed about it. And I need to get the plate on the bike. I'm going to run up to Ace Hardware and get some like specialty fasteners for the license plate. Well, I got about 8 hours of cleaning in the bike. I think it's come a long way. It's almost 100 degrees out. I'm all hot and sweaty. So get an engine oil change and the primary oil change. And I think it's ready for fall riding. Here's a sneak peek at a future project for the Sportster. Well, I have the Sportster put away. So the next thing I need to do, besides the mirrors, is do an engine oil change and a primary oil change. So that'll be coming up hopefully soon. Thanks for watching.